نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد بسم الله. Let's go through a summary of Surah Al-Waqiah. So Surah Al-Waqiah is a Makki surah, 96 ayah and 3 rukus. The name, the inevitable Waqiah, is given since the surah begins with establishing certainty of the Day of Judgment. The virtues of this surah is there are narrations where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned شَيِّبَتْنِي هُودٌ وَالْوَاقِيَةُ وَالْمُرْسَلَاتُ وَعَمَّ يَتَسَاءَلُونَ وَإِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ in Tirmidhi, that I have been made gray hair by Hud in the Waqiah, Mursalat, Amma Yatasaloon, and the Surah إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ. And then another narration which comes in Shu'ab al-Iman, مَنْ قَرَأَ سُورَةَ الْوَاقِعَةِ كُلَّ لَيْلَةٍ لَمْ تُصِبْهُ فَاقَةٌ. Whoever recites Surah Al-Waqiah every night, he will never be afflicted by poverty. A brief synopsis of the surah is that it begins declaring the certainty of Day of Judgment, categorizes people in the hereafter into three groups, which are Sabiqun, Ashab al-Yamin, and Ashab al-Shimal. It describes bounties for Sabiqun, Ashab al-Yamin, and punishment for Ashab al-Shimal. Reminds us of the blessings and power of subhanahu wa ta'ala evident in our daily lives, and then establishes the sanctity of Quran, that it should be only touched in a purified state. Let's go through the verses of the surah. Day of Judgment is certain and cannot be aborted once it begins. إِذَا وَقَعَتِ الْوَاقِعَةُ لَيْسَ لِوَقْعَتِهَا كَاذِبَةٌ. Faith and piety elevates status in the hereafter, whereas disbelief and disobedience lowers it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions خَافِضَةُ الرَّافِعَةُ. Those people who may be elevated in status in society today, when they rise again in the hereafter, they may not hold the same status, and vice versa. People who may not be looked at with respect in this world because of their belief and closeness with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they may rise as elevated in status on the Day of Judgment. Three groups of people are mentioned on the Day of Judgment. وَكُنْتُمْ أَزْوَاجًا ثَلَاثَةً فَأَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ وَأَصْحَابُ الْمَشْأَمَةِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْمَشْأَمَةِ وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ. And we learned about the Sabiqun, and they are the ones that get the greatest reward. And then there is Ashab al-Yamin, which are the righteous believers, and even sinful believers who would enter paradise once they have been expiated. Once they have served their time in the hellfire, then they will enter paradise. Those are also part of Ashab al-Maymana, and then Ashab al-Mashama, the people of the left. Those are the ones who will be in the hellfire forever. Haste and eagerness and obedience is rewarded dearly by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described in the Muqarrabun is that those are Sabiqun. وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ أُولَٰئِكَ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really appreciates when someone reacts quickly to an opportunity that is given. It could be as simple as praying your obligatory fard salah in early time. It could be given the opportunity to donate either for the need of other people or to an institution or masjid, being the first one to donate. Again, all those opportunities that you get, you want to be the first one. The wine of paradise does not induce harmful effects, unlike wine of this world. So in describing the bounties of paradise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also describes the wine of paradise. لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون. So in this world, when anyone consumes alcohol, haram for us, but as disbelievers do, then there are many harmful effects. It causes intoxication, a person loses sense of action, and hangover the next day, headache, many different harmful effects. But the wine of Jannah, paradise, will not have any of those effects. Rather, it will be more delightful. Reward in the hereafter is corresponding to actions performed in this life. جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this as a principle. So it will not be based on your relationship to anyone. It will not be based on your status in this world. It will not be based on the wealth that you had. None of that will be a measure of your reward in the hereafter. The only thing that gets you to a reward is your actions that you performed, whether those are good actions, so you get good reward, and if there were bad actions, of course, they lead to punishment. Women in paradise will be young, devoted to their husbands, and of equal age as men, which in some narrations comes to be about 33 years old. فَجَعَلْنَاهُنَّ أَبْكَارًا عُرُبًا أَتْرَابًا. Affluence in this world is not an indicator of success in the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions people of the left, إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَبْلَ ذَلِكَ مُتْرَفِينَ. They used to be proud of their wealth in this world, yet their final abode was hellfire. So just because someone has wealth in this world does not ensure or guarantee that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with that person and that he will also have a higher status in the hereafter. As a reminder, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes 3 necessities of life bestowed to mankind: food, water, and fire. أَأَنْتُمْ تَزْرَعُونَهُ أَمْ نَحْنُ الزَّارِعُونَ. This is about the crops. That is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who grows the crops, or is it you? أَأَنْتُمْ أَنزَلْتُمُوهُ مِنَ الْمُزْنِ أَمْ نَحْنُ الْمُنزِلُونَ. Is it he who then sends rainwater, or is it you that do it? أَأَنْتُمْ أَنشَأْتُمْ شَجَرَتَهَا أَمْ نَحْنُ الْمُنشِئُونَ. Is it you who grows the trees, or is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that does it, where you get wood that you burn? Stars and other heavenly bodies are a great sign of Allah's creation. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the oath of the system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has built around the stars and heavenly bodies. Quran can only be touched when in the state of wudu. وَلَا يَمَسُّهُ إِلَّا الْمُطَهَّرُونَ. Quran cannot be touched when someone is in the halat of janaba or even without wudu. No one can escape death or save anyone from their appointed end of life. تَرْجِعُونَهَا إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenges people with their inability to save not only themselves but anyone else of their loved one from death. And then finally, the state of 3 groups of people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described toward the end of what would be their abode. فَأَمَّا إِن كَانَ مِنَ الْمُقَرَّبِينَ فَرَوْحٌ وَرَيْحَانٌ وَجَنَّةُ نَعِيمٍ. For الْمُقَرَّبِينَ, there will be blessings, there will be pleasure, there will be delight. وَأَمَّا إِن كَانَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ الْيَمِينِ فَسَلَامٌ لَكَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ الْيَمِينِ. So there will be peace for people of the right. And وَأَمَّا إِن كَانَ مِنَ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ الضَّالِّينَ فَنُزُلٌ مِنْ حَمِيمٍ وَتَصْلِيَةُ جَحِيمٍ. So for people of the left, those who have denied and those who have gone astray, there is going to be punishment for them. They will be thrown in hellfire. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم.